Let's talk about this move. Where did the idea come from?
Well, I think I was, like many of us in the country, watching the cultural divide and the racial issues in Ferguson, in New York, in Cleveland, and most recently in Madison, Wisconsin. And as a result of that, I decided to have a series of town hall meetings internally at Starbucks. In all of those meetings, they were unscripted, but yet they were all the same. And that was people sharing their life experience, and with great empathy, compassion, and understanding, I think we all had a better understanding coming out of those meetings what it was like to be that person of color, to be that person who's discriminated against. And I think we started thinking about, given the situation in the country, and perhaps we're at a tipping point with all of this, we were so successful a year ago in raising awareness and kind of elevating the national discussion with 9/11 veterans who were coming home, and we decided that we, in fact, could use our scale for good and our national footprint. But the idea of the cup is a de minimis aspect of this. It's a voluntary act by our people. It's not mandatory. The big idea is the relationship and the co-venture between Starbucks and USA Today, which begins Friday with this insert in millions of newspapers and in our stores as an attempt to understand that we all have unconscious bias, and perhaps through education and understanding, we would be able to move the country forward. We're not going to solve the race problem, but perhaps by leaning into it, we could have a positive effect on the national conversation.
You know, Howard, you were quoted in a Time magazine article recently saying that people warned you not to touch this issue, that it was just too hot button of an issue and not to go near it. So I'm wondering if you could tell us who advised you of that and why did you go ahead with it?
Well, first off, this is an issue I brought into the boardroom over the last few quarters. And to the board's credit, they understood that this is an issue facing the country, not only people of color, but the entire country, and perhaps we could have a positive effect. But certainly there were people, friends of mine and certain people at Starbucks who felt that this is not an issue that we should engage in, and I rejected that. I rejected that because if we all individually and collectively continue to be a bystander on something that is dividing the nation, where is this headed? And I think we are better than this as a country. I don't think we've made as much progress as we need to. And I know firsthand, by embracing diversity and inclusion in my own company, we have a much better level of ideology, exchange of ideas, life experience. And I think we're a company that is very, very diverse. And I think our stores are diverse. Our employees are diverse. I'm coming at this because I'm looking at the landscape of the country, the outrage that is going on in cities across the country. Ferguson is not an outliner. This is happening in many places. And how much are we going to absorb and take before we take some steps as citizens, as businesses, as newscasters, to do something that is positive as opposed to being reactive and saying this is the way things are. I don't think this is the way things have to be, and I'm trying to use the assets we have to make a positive difference. That's the story.